Welcome to Quick Bite, your fast and friendly Florida insurance update.
Hello. This is Roshonda, agency owner of the ISOM Insurance Group here in the Sunshine State of Florida, back again with another Quick Bite episode, your fast and informative insurance market update. Today is Friday, March the 6th, 2026. It's Friday, it's Friday, it's Friday, it's Friday. And since it's Free Friday, we are answering a real world question that creates a lot of anxiety for people. Someone asked me what actually happens if I just let my insurance policy cancel. Now, let me tell you something. This is one of those questions people think quietly. They do not always ask it out loud, but they absolutely think it because sometimes money is tight. Everyone's on a budget. Sometimes bills pile up. Sometimes people assume they can fix it later. So today we're going to talk about what really happens when a policy cancels. Not scare tactics, not exaggeration, just reality. Let's get into it. When a policy cancels for non payment, it does not mean you are slightly late. It means coverage stops. There is no grace period after the cancellation. There is no kind of covered. Once the cancellation date hits at 12:01 a.m., coverage ends. And from that moment forward, you are uninsured. That is the part many people misunderstand. They think if they pay a few days later, everything goes back to normal. Sometimes it can be reinstated, sometimes it cannot, but the gap still happened, and gaps matter. Let's start with auto insurance. If your auto policy cancels in Florida, here is what happens. First, the insurance company notifies the state electronically. The Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles monitors coverage. If there is a lapse and no new policy is reported, your driver's license can be suspended. Not eventually, not months later, quickly. You may also have to pay a reinstatement fee. And depending on how long the lapse lasted, you could face higher penalties. Now, here's the part most people do not realize. Even a short lapse can dramatically increase your future premium. If insurance companies rate based on continuous coverage, if there's a gap, even a 10-day gap, you may no longer qualify for preferred rates. That means your next policy may cost significantly more. So the money you saved by skipping one payment may cost you hundreds or thousands more over time. Let me just put a little bit more color on this. When I first got into insurance here in Florida, I was an agent in Georgia before I came back to Florida. Georgia was way more aggressive when it came to cancellations and suspensions of licensing and issuing fines. Florida was a little bit more lax to me. I wasn't used to that. However, I can say unequivocally in the last year or so, Florida has become more aggressive on this because I have had customers that may have switched from one carrier to another, and they've gotten notices from the state asking to verify that they have current coverage. So Florida is getting a lot more aggressive on policies that cancel when it comes to auto and sending those letters. Like I said, Georgia always was aggressive with it, but now Florida, what I have seen, especially in the market in the last year, customers are getting letters. And some of it, like I said, was customers that switched from one carrier to another carrier, and maybe just the state didn't get the notice to be on time or whatever, or didn't get the notice in the system, or it didn't match up on something. So that was a quick fix for them because they had current coverage. But just be aware that if you let your coverage cancel, you will get letters from the state. I've seen it picking up. It is starting to happen. They are looking to suspend licensing, so please be careful with that. What another thing that was happening in Florida a lot is like customers would just get the coverage to go down to get their tag when it renewed, and they wouldn't pay the bill after that, and they would just let it lapse. Like again, I'm saying that is no longer a thing in Florida. I am starting to see where they are sending out notices for coverage that is not in effect in the system and asking you to prove that you have coverage. So be aware of this. Before, it used to be where you could get away with just getting your coverage, going when your tag renews, going down there, showing your proof of coverage and never paying again. They are cracking down on that. They are becoming a little bit more aggressive on that. If your vehicle is financed or leased, the lender requires insurance. If your policy cancels, they will receive notice and they can force place insurance on your vehicle. Force place coverage is expensive, yes, and they roll that usually into your loan. And it usually only protects the lender, not you. It does not include liability protection. It does not protect you from lawsuits. It just protects the bank's interest. So now you're paying more and less protected. Now let's talk about homeowners insurance. If your home insurance cancels and you have a mortgage, your lender will be notified. Mortgage companies do not play about coverage. They will force place homeowners insurance as well. Force place homeowners insurance is usually 2 to 3 times more expensive. Again, they roll it into your mortgage payment. And again, it protects the lender's interest, not your personal property, not your additional living expenses, not liability exposure. Now, here's the long term impact. If you have a lapse in homeowners coverage, many private carriers will decline you in the future. It's sometimes hard to find coverage if you let your policy lapse, especially depending on how long. Continuous coverage is a major underwriting factor. So one lapse could push you into citizens or a non-standard market with higher rates. That is not temporary. That can follow you for years. Now let's talk about worst case timing. Imagine your policy cancels on March the 1st. You plan to pay it on March the 10th. On March the 5th, a tree falls on your house. There is no coverage, none, none, none. That company will not backdate. Insurance does not work retroactively. I've had to deliver that news before. It is not a good conversation. Here's something many people miss. If your underline auto or home policy cancels, your umbrella policy can collapse too. Umbrella coverage requires underlining limits. If those underlining policy lapse, the umbrella may be void or there could be a gap in coverage. I've explained this before in prior videos where you're required to have, let's say, 250,000 liability on your umbrella on your auto policy before your umbrella will kick in. And let's say you let your umbrella policy lapse and you don't have that $250,000, you still have your umbrella policy, but if you have a claim, the umbrella is not going to kick in until you pay or somebody pays that $250,000. So one missed payment can create multiple exposure gaps. For business owners, cancellations can be even more damaging. If your general liability or workers' compensation cancels, contracts can be voided, jobs can be paused, certificates of insurance become invalid, vendors may refuse to work with you. For commercial auto, the consequences mirror personal auto, but with higher financial stakes. And reinstating commercial policies after cancellation is often harder than personal lines. Now, let's be real. People do not let policies cancel before because they enjoy risk. They let them cancel because money is tight, budgets are tight. I understand. They misunderstand the billing or they assumed a payment process. They thought they had more time. Life happens. But insurance companies operate on strict timelines. They have to remember insurance is highly regulated. They can't make exceptions for anyone or they'll get in trouble because it's like now they're picking and choosing who they deal with and who they give exceptions to. So they have to stick to strict rules. They're not doing it to be malicious or mean or they don't like you. It's just that when they set that date is the date and they can't do anything. And we understand sometimes stuff happens from a human standpoint, we understand, but insurance is highly regulated and they have to stick to the rules. So whatever the rule is, they have to stick to it no matter what. They have on this, they can't see gray. They have to see black and white. Cancellation notices are issued in advance, but once that date hits, coverage stops. It stops. Trust me, it stops. If money is tight, call your agent before cancellation. There may be options, payment plans, adjusting coverage, rewriting the policy, moving carriers, reducing deductibles strategically. But once cancellation occurs, options shrink. It is always easier to prevent a lapse than fix one. Here's something most people do not realize. Insurance scoring models consider payment history and prior coverage. Frequent cancellations or lapses can affect underwriting eligibility. It may not hit your credit report directly, but it absolutely impacts insurance scoring and placement. And once you move into non-standard markets, rates are higher. Getting back into preferred tiers can take years of continuous coverage. Letting your policy cancel to save 1 month's premium is like unplugging your refrigerator to save on electricity. Yes, you save money for a moment, but the spoilage cost is much worse. Insurance is designed for low frequency, high impact events. You do not need it every day, but the one day you need it, you really need it. Let me say that again. The one day you need it, you really need it. Letting your policy cancel does not mean I'll deal with it later. It means immediate uninsured exposure, potential license suspension, higher future premiums, possible forced place coverage, reduced underwriting options, and long term financial consequences. Insurance works best when it is consistent. Continuous coverage is one of the most important rating factors in this industry. If you are watching this episode and you are close to cancellation date, do not ignore it. Call your agent, ask questions, review options. It is always better to adjust coverage than to go uncovered. And if you are unsure when your policy renews or what your billing schedule looks like, check today. Prevention is easier than correction. Also, let me add a little another caveat. A lot of times, this is what happens. Sometimes you put on file your debit card or credit card, and it gets compromised, and you forget that you're on automatic payments, but you forget to call your agent as one of your people to let them know that your card number has changed because of the compromise or issue with the card. So always remember that as well. If you're on any type of automatic payment with a debit card or a credit card on file and your card gets compromised or you get issued a new card because the card that was on file expired, be sure you just double check with your insurance company and make sure they have your current card on file when you get a new card. That happens more so than not. It's not just, sometimes budgets are tight, but sometimes it's just something as, minor as that you forget to call your agent because you got a new card because your card was compromised or your card expired and you got a new one in the mail. You'll remember and then especially if you're only on one time per year of your card, of your bill being deducted. It's not like a monthly deduction. Sometimes you can overlook it, is what I'm saying. So please be sure anytime you get a new debit card or credit card on file, new card in the mail, call your agent. Make sure they have your updated card. If today's Free Friday episode helped you understand what actually happens when a policy canceled, then we accomplish the goal. Insurance is not just about coverage, it's about continuation. If you would like to review your policy or request a quote, please visit our website at isomInsuranceGroup.com. Again, it's right below me on the screen. Preparation always beats regret. If you found this episode helpful, please like the video, share it with your friends, family, even your enemies. And drop a comment below with any topics you would like for me to discuss in any future episodes. Also, please, please, please subscribe to the channel so that you'll know when a new episode drops. And just for scheduling purposes, Quick Bite episodes drop Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And this video is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as legal, tax, or specific insurance advice. Please consult a licensed insurance professional about your unique situation. This is Roshonda with the ISOM Insurance Group here in sunny Florida. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Please stay safe out there. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Thank you for watching. Visit us at isomInsuranceGroup.com.